What is up? Welcome back to another video. Today's video is going to be showing you my full upper body workout as well as a day in the life in terms of what I'm eating today. Oh my gosh, I am loving the food that I'm eating, and of course, what kind of an Anjuli video would it be without a chit chat? So if you do enjoy this video, please remember to show it some love. Let's get into it. It is a Thursday morning. We woke up at 4:30. It's now almost 5. I've made some sups and it is time for an upper body workout in the home gym. Yes. Featuring my cute outfit. So first up, I have a tricep of 3 exercises. A dumbbell press, which is a neutral grip, so my palms are facing inside, nice and controlled with that. The second exercise I'm supersetting it with is going to be Y raises. So leaning on the bench, I've lowered the bench down slightly and just really making sure that I'm keeping my traps down and squeezing at the top when I bring the dumbbells up. And the third exercise of the tricep is bent over rows. So making sure that I'm keeping my neck in line with my spine, rowing my elbows backwards towards my hips and squeezing at the top before lowering them down. All of the exercises that you'll see me doing in today's workout are nice and controlled. I really want to make sure that I am challenging myself with the weight that I'm choosing, however, still focusing on form and making sure that I really have a good time under tension. Next up, we have wide grip lat pull downs. I used to hate training upper body. I really didn't like training back in particular. I would always try and avoid it, but turns out the reason why I was avoiding it was because it was one of my weakest muscle groups, so I didn't like doing it. But then one day I kind of said to myself, right, you know what, Anjuli, you're going to train your back, you're going to work really hard on it. And so I started incorporating it into my upper body workouts, and sure enough, now I absolutely love it. And when I look at footage of me training back, like my lat pull downs, I absolutely love seeing the muscle that I've spent years growing. So yeah, the wide grip pull down, we are really focusing on coming down, squeezing at the bottom, and then slowly returning back up to the top. I'm supersetting this with rope pull down. I make sure that I am engaging my back and not bringing my traps up and forward. So I'm squeezing my shoulder blades back and down and then bringing it down, making sure that I'm really targeting my back and not trying to use my triceps to bring the rope down. And lastly, I have arms to finish off. So it's a bicep tricep superset, doing hammer curl superset with overhead dumbbell extension. So with the bicep curl, you could either do alternating or you could do 2 at a time. Hammer curls, try not to use a weight that is so heavy that you are swinging backwards and forwards using momentum to get the weight up. We really want to control the movements for all the exercises that we're doing. And then with the tricep overhead extension, if you are unsure about this, of course, start with a lighter weight. And if you don't want to do that or it doesn't feel quite right, you can always swap it out with something like a rope push down or even just tricep kickbacks bent over. So for the tricep overhead extension, we really want to keep our elbows tucked in when we are performing the movement and squeezing at the top before lowering back down. For biceps as well, I make sure that I'm coming up, squeezing, and then slowly controlling it down. For every exercise that I do when I'm working out, I'm focusing on my muscle-mind connection, making sure that I'm aware of what muscles I'm working so that I can really focus on that. I wasn't always like this. It took me a while to really work on that muscle-mind connection, but now that I have it, I'm really happy, and I actually noticed changes in my physique from focusing on the muscles that I'm actually training at the time instead of, you know, thinking about everything else and anything else that's happening in life. But of course, some days are easier than others to focus on training. Showered and freshened up, so it's time for me to make my protein oats. 65 grams of rolled oats, 25 grams of Macromite Deluxe chocolate protein powder, 100 grams of yogurt. This is totally optional. You could of course use a dairy-free yogurt or just use water. Some cold water or almond milk would work fine. If you have a sweet tooth like me, you could add in some sugar-free drinking chocolate. Lastly, stir it all around, and then we're going to put it in the fridge until later. Ideally, I would have made this last night to soak in the fridge overnight, but better late than never, so I'm just going to put it in the fridge for like half an hour or so because I am hungry. It is 10 a.m. and I am so hungry, so I've taken out my oats from the fridge. I'm going to top them with some dairy-free chocolate and enjoy. Yum. Okay, so my chit chat today is going to be all about measuring your progress. I often get messages from either clients or people on Instagram telling me that they've been working really hard but the scales aren't shifting. And I cannot stress this enough. I am a prime example of this. The scales do not represent everything, and they definitely shouldn't be letting you get yourself down about your progress. So there are a few different ways to measure progress in relation to myself on my current shred. I'm halfway through. I'm on to day 46 now. So yesterday was my day 45 out of 90 for the shred that I'm doing with Fit with AMB-ANJULI Better Me Kickstart 5.0. And wow, I am feeling absolutely amazing. So I'm down on the scales on average about 3 kilos, which is a really healthy amount in, 6 weeks. That's an average of half a kilo a week, which is awesome. But for honestly the past 2 weeks or so, my weight just hasn't really seemed to kind of dip into the 62s. I've been sitting in the 63s, and in the past, I used to really let this get to me on, a fat loss phase. I'd start thinking like, oh, why, isn't my weight going down? I've been working really hard. And we are talking about me hitting every key habit. I hit my sleep, I hit my water, I hit my macros to the dot. I weigh everything, I track everything. Like everything is absolutely on point, but the scales aren't coming down. However, I'm taking progress photos tomorrow, so progress photos are key. I'm taking photos every week because I like to track my progress week to week. I usually take them first thing in the morning on a Saturday on an empty stomach in the same outfit. Now, I'll see where I'm at tomorrow, but I already know that I've progressed in the past couple of weeks because using things like clothing or my weight belt as an idea of sizes, it's actually gone down a size. So I used to, have to squeeze to fit into the 4th hole on my weightlifting belt, and I think this morning it was fitting on the 5th hole. So that obviously shows that my body composition is changing. I don't want to lose a crazy amount of weight in, 90 days because I actually want to maintain as much muscle as possible. So using the scales as my only measurement for progress isn't going to be an accurate measurement for what my goals are, which is to lose fat whilst maintaining as much muscle, if not gaining more muscle during this time. Measurement around your glutes, around your hips, around your waist, around your shoulders, even if you want to do that, or around your chest. I mainly measure my waist and my glutes. Those are 2 main measurements I like to look at, as well as my thighs, so around the mid thigh as well. The most important thing is going to be that the measurements that you are taking are done first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, and also done either by the same person or done by you in the same spot each time, because obviously it makes a big difference as to whether you measure below your belly button, at your belly button, or above your belly button. We just want consistency with the measurement. First up, we've got progress photos. We've got measurements. The scales, it's just data. If you find that the scales really get you down, put the scales away and stop weighing in. However, when I'm working with the AMB-ANJULI Fit Squad, I do need a good kind of idea of your starting point so I can calculate your calories. So it can be helpful for you to jump on the scales just so we can get kind of our starting point and go from there. Now, if you are going to use the scales, it's important to realize that the scales are going to fluctuate every day. It is very rare in which my weight would be exactly the same day after day after day. So again, first thing in the morning on an empty stomach, usually after you've gone to the bathroom if you need to, and then instead of weighing in like once every 2 weeks, of course that is fine to do, but if you feel like you have a good healthy relationship with the scale and you do just want to see data, what you could do is weigh in, say 4 or 5 times across the week and take an average of that. This is totally dependent on the individual. If you find it becomes obsessive, then of course weighing in every day isn't going to be the thing for you to do. Now, other ways to measure progress: non-scale victories. Are you making healthier choices when out with friends? Do you have more energy to run around with the kids? Are your clothes fitting you better day in and day out? These are all awesome, as is getting stronger in the gym. So if I know that I'm feeling a little bit leaner when I wake up in the morning, I'm feeling stronger in the gym, I feel like I look leaner in the mirror, that is a good sign of progress. So please be kind to yourself. Do not let the scales dictate whether or not you are doing well on your journey, because if you are nailing the key habits, the results will come. It just comes down to patience, consistency, and hard work. You can do this, girl. I really felt like having sushi for lunch today. I've shown how to make it on my TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube before, so I'm going to keep it short and sweet. I cook my chicken with teriyaki sauce in a pan. I cook my rice in the rice cooker, and I put both of them in the refrigerator to cool down while I prepare my vegetables. Usually I'll prepare the rice and the chicken earlier in the morning. Spread your rice across the nori and layer in your protein and vegetables. I'm using capsicum, avocado, and chicken today. Yum, my favorite combination. I got given a sushi mat, but I haven't actually looked up how to use it, so I ended up just rolling it up with my hands. I find that really easy, and instead of having small pieces, I decided to cut some really big pieced sushi so that I could just eat it slowly and enjoy. Usually when I'm on high calories, I would have more so, 10 to 20 pieces. It's not the easiest or the fastest lunch, but I absolutely love my homemade chicken sushi, and I used the remaining ingredients that I tracked just to have in a bowl. And of course some jelly after lunch as my dessert. Okay, chit chat number 2. What am I doing on my shred currently? I feel like in the time in which I post a video on a Friday and then the next video on a Friday, so much happens within the week. So as of Monday, my calories have been lowered to under 1800, so I'm now in the 1700s. It's been a kind of drop from the 1900s. I'm excited to see how my body responds to this, and I will be taking my progress photos like I mentioned earlier tomorrow, so I cannot wait to see my progress from here out. But there's not that long left. I mean, under 45 days left. I'm halfway through. If you are currently doing a shred, stick at it, keep going. I promise the results will come when you are consistent with those key habits. Now, how am I feeling? I won't lie, the first few days were a little bit hard. I was definitely feeling it a little bit, but to be honest, I've been so busy. My mind's just been elsewhere. I have mentioned a few times that I've had some family stuff come up, and my mind is just so focused on other things that I'm kind of just crossing my T's and dotting my I's as to hitting my key habits and tracking those every day on my habit tracker. But otherwise, I've been fine. I'm really focused on whole foods, so I'm making sure that I'm focusing on volume so that I feel more satiated throughout the day. My protein intake has been increased to 150 grams per day. I aim to hit about 30 grams of fiber a day as well. This is important for digestion. It helps with satiation, and it can also help with fat loss too. Those are two kind of key things I focus on when it comes to my macros. In terms of sugar, I don't really pay too much attention to that, but just for the last 45 days of my shred, I have decided to really focus on whole foods. So you'll see today that I do have some dairy-free chocolate on my oats. I'm still having some dairy like yogurt, but I'm not exactly sitting down to have ice creams and things like that. This is more so a personal choice. Of course, you can shred eating whatever you want as long as it fits into your calories, but I am actually lactose intolerant, so I shouldn't be having as much dairy as I usually like to have, because it will result in a skin flare up on my face, which is never a fun time. But anyway, I'm feeling good, and I'm super excited to show you the rest of my day of eating. Since I missed my morning snack, I decided to have a rice cake with some cold smoked salmon on it and some seasoning, followed by a Macro Mike chocolate chip mug cake. All you need to do is add in some almond milk, stir it all around, and then microwave it for approximately 1 minute. I like to top mine with some sugar-free maple syrup or some yogurt. Not so pretty, but it does taste delicious. I've been loving these. Tonight's dinner is just air frying some frozen pumpkin and fresh capsicum, some seasoning, and I will top the veggies with some chicken later. Seriously, how cool are air fryers? Ross and I have been loving this. We use it every day. I like to pan fry my chicken with some Himalayan rock salt, and I dished up Ross's dinner, which is air fried chicken breast boiled veg, and then served us up some pan fried capsicum as well. So that wraps up my full day of eating, as well as my upper body workout and my chit chat. I hope that you're enjoying my shredding for the wedding series. I'm absolutely loving doing these weekly vlogs. I feel like it holds me accountable. It's like kind of chit chatting with a friend and recapping how my week has been. But yeah, all you can do on a fat loss phase is cross your T's, dot your I's, stay consistent, stay patient, work hard, and you will get results. As always, if you do enjoy this video, please remember to show it some love. Drop any video suggestions in the comments below as well. I'd love to hear from you on what you would like to see more of, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.